In this one, I'm going to go over a couple of examples of buttons and functions for the clicking of the button. Now, each one of these little sections with a button in it is a field set. When I hover over the field set, it turns gray. When I hover over the legend, it turns yellow. When I hover over the button, it turns green. Those are just hover events, just to show you exactly where the elements are. I'll go over the style real quick. Here's the actual page called buttonstuff.html, and this is a button.png file that I created in Paint, and I set it to 50 by 50 pixels so that I would be able to use it up here next to the title Button Stuff in the browser window. So the beginning of the page starts with the HTML tag, and of course the very end is going to be that ending. All of these little green lines are more little code snippets that I might put in this particular page just for future reference. But here's the head tag, and the head tag has this link, which is linking this button image right here, this button image you see right here to the left. Link rel equals shortcut icon, href equals button dot png, type equals image / x icon. That's how this image is being transferred to this tab. Then you got the title tags here that says button stuff, and up here next to the button you see button stuff. Here I've got a set of styles included in the HTML page. I'm styling the field set with a border of 15 pixels, olive inset. That's this border around right here. Inset gives it the illusion of being inset. Border radius of 20 pixels so that it's rounded. Width of 300 pixels, that gives us, this is 300 pixels from left to right. And margin bottom 10 pixels so we have some space before we reach the next element here. Down, between this element and this element we've got a space. Then I've got field set hover with a background color of gray, and that causes this gray hover event to happen. Then my legend, which is when I hover over the legends here, the background turns yellow. The legend style is border top 5 pixels maroon solid. For border, you don't have to do a border all the way around. You could pick border, which would be all the way around. For instance, if I took the top off here, the dash top, and just had border 5 pix maroon solid, and save it and run it, you see that the border goes all the way around the legend. But you can choose border top, border right, border left, border bottom. I'll try border bottom. Save it in Notepad++ and then refresh the page. And so that it just gives you different illusions, whatever you want to do with it. You don't even have to use a border at all if you don't want to. The one that I started off with, I'll give you a left too, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. See, that kind of looks kind of neat, different. It almost looks like a little parentheses around it. I thought it would only show, oh, it actually does have a border right, also right here. That's why it shows on both sides. But the one that I started off with was border top, and then down here you see border right. And I'll save it and refresh it again. So little things you can do to play with your appearance. Border top 5 pix maroon solid, border right 5 pix maroon solid, border radius 10 pixels, which makes it a little more squared. 20 pixels is a little more rounded, and 10 pixels is just a little more squared. And then a padding bottom of 20 pixels. If I took that padding bottom of 20 pixels off by misspelling padding with a Z in front of it and save it in Notepad++ and refresh it, you can see how instead of being big like this, it's smaller. I'm not sure why this one is different than these. Let me see. What did I do different with that first one? Legend. Oh, I actually have something called class up more because I wanted to take my legend and move it up more. But actually this isn't too bad. I think I might like it this way better, so I'll just get rid of that class up more, and I'll take the class off of this legend and save it and refresh it. Alright, that'll be fine. Going back up to the rest of the styles. Again, if I take that padding bottom and spell it again right, it lifts this legend. It gives it appearance that it's moving the legend up some. But I really don't need to keep it like that. It kind of looks a little confusing. So I'm going to just take it off. Through the padding and margin, you could actually move your elements and position them the way you want to. Then I've got a legend hover, just like a field set hover, just so that I could show you exactly what the element entails. Legend hover background color yellow, and I showed you already how that looks. And then the button, I've got a button style and a button hover as well. Background color is tan, font size is 20 pixels, border radius is 10 pixels, border is 10 pixels of tan outset. That gives us these buttons right here. And the button hover, background color lime, you see the lime part, it still has the tan border. The tan border is a style of the button, but the button itself is just this rectangle. The border is in addition to it. It's still part of the element, but it doesn't give the entire button and the border the hover color of lime. It just gives the face of the button the hover color. And there's the end of the style and the end of the head. Now let's get to the body for the tags of these actual elements. Here's our field set, which again is this section that hovers gray. And in the field set is a legend, and the first legend says 1 dot open new window, and that's right there, 1 dot open new window with a yellow background. End of legend. Button. Now this is where we're going to create an Onclick event, which is a function. This button right here that says try it, Onclick equals, and then in double quotes, function1 with empty parentheses. And then in between the opening button tag and the ending button tag, we have the word try it, which you see right here. So after we create the button and give it this onClick set equal to a function name, we got to create that function. So inside these script tags, we use the keyword function and give it that very name that we called right here, function1. So we got function1, empty parentheses, and then in double quotes, we have window.open, and then in parentheses and double quotes, we have an address to a web page, a website, http://www.w3schools.com, which is a good site for learning web design. Okay, so when we click this try it, it's going to open that W3 Schools online web tutorials, the world's largest web developer site. And you learn all kinds of stuff there. Here you learn about HTML, creating the web page itself. Here you learn about CSS, which is, the styling, the colors, and how you can move it around, padding, and all that good stuff. JavaScript is the script right here that we're learning that gives it some functionality. Further down you have SQL, which has to do with accessing databases, PHP, web server programming language, and jQuery, a JavaScript library, so that you don't have to do so much coding of JavaScript yourself. You can just link some stuff in and have less typing to actually do. And then you got a color picker there, and different things. So it's a good website to go to learn web development. But that's what that button did. It's kind of like taking a button and turning it into a link. That's basically what that does. So we end that field set right there. So we've already done this little section, this little element, the field set. We showed you the legend and we showed you the button. We showed you a script that does something when you click on it. So now let's go down to this next little section, which starts right here. In this field set, there's another legend, and that legend has number 2 dot open many windows, and that's this legend right here, open many windows. Button, Same thing as we did before. Onclick equals function 2, and then we have a word in between the button tags. It says open windows, and that's right here. And when we click it, it's going to call this function 2 function. So we have to create that function right here. So inside these script tags, we have the keyword function again, and the new name that we have, function 2. It's got to completely match this up here. And in the double quotes here, we have window.open, same thing as we did above. In parentheses and double quotes, we have the address of a web page, and we end that statement with a semicolon, and we do it again. Function, inside of the same function, we have window open again, and then in double quotes and parentheses, we have another website. Actually, we have Google here and W3 Schools here. So you could actually open as many as you want with one button click. You just keep following this pattern right here, window.open, and then another and another and another. So if you know that you're going to look at 5 or 6 different websites for sure every morning, you might want to open them all at one time with a single click. So this is kind of nice. And then here's the end of the script. Well, the end of the curly brace, the end of the script, the end of the field set. So let's open multiple windows here. I should have the legend says open many windows. I should probably say the same thing on the button. Open many windows, because that's what we're doing. Open many windows. So let's click on it, and you see how we have 2 tabs that are opening up 2 different pages. Here's our Google, and here's our W3 Schools Online. So that's pretty cool, pretty convenient. Okay, so that finishes off this field set with this button and its Onclick event. Let's go to this last one. So we've got a new field set, and it's kind of longer. Let's see if I could try to get it all in. It goes from this purple to this purple. Here's our legend, and inside it says 3 open and close mini window. You see right here when I hover over that legend, that's what it says, 3 dot open and close mini window. And the end of the legend, now we have a button. We have 2 buttons here, separated a little. Button, same thing as we did before. Onclick equals, and then you put the name of a function that you're going to create. The function we're going to create in this first one is going to be open win, short for open window. And we're going to put the text open my window inside the button tags, and that's what's going to show up on the first button, open my window. And we use double quotes, and it's going to show exactly how we typed it there. And then the end of the button. And here's the second button. Button on click equals close win for close window. And then we have the text that you actually see on the button, close. And then you don't have to use these double quotes. You could just say close my window. But in this particular snippet that I got from online, they used it, so I used it. And there's the end of the button, and here you see close my window. Now we have to create the 2 scripts. We have to create the open win and the close win functions. So we have a script tag here, and in this one single script tag, we actually have both of the functions. You can do that. You don't have to have a single script tag for a single function. You could have multiple functions. First of all, we're going to create a variable using the var keyword, and then we're going to have my window as the name of the variable, and we're going to stop it with the semicolon. Now we're going to create a function with the function keyword. Here's our open win that this button click is going to call, and for the open win function, it goes from this curly brace to this one down here. They're both highlighted in red. You're going to use that variable my window, and you're going to set it equal to window.open, and then you have all of these parameters in this parentheses. The first one is just an empty double quotes that's just empty, and I'm not sure what that does. So after I go over the rest of these all the way to the end of the script, I'm going to put something in there and see if it does anything. But it's separated by a comma. Then you've got my window in double quotes, separated by a comma. Then you've got width equals 200, comma, height equals 100. And the width and the height are in the same double quotes, but they're separated by a comma. And then you close that parentheses with a semicolon. Then we have my window dot document dot write. So now we're going to actually write inside the window. And so we have in parentheses and double quotes all of this. All of this. We have a P tag, which is for a paragraph. And in the paragraph tag, see, now we're using HTML tags the way we would if we were creating a paragraph in an HTML. We're actually putting it inside of the parentheses and double quotes. In the P tag, which there's the opening P tag and here's the closing P tag, we have the words this is, and we have my window in single quotes. Then we use a break tag so that we move down to the next line, and we have happy holidays to you. And then there's our ending paragraph. So we're going to output this is my window, happy holidays to you, in a small window that's going to have a width of 200 and a height of 100. That's everything that goes into the open when function. Now let's do the very easy close when function. Function close when, which again, when the second button clicks, it's going to call that function, and in its curly braces, all it is my window.close. Very, very easy. And there's the end of the script, end of the field set. So I don't know what I did, but I need to save all of that. Let me come over here and refresh. I'm going to click open my window. And here's that tiny window. It says, this is my window, happy holidays to you. And you can get rid of it this way, but you can also get rid of it this way, close my window. So open my window, close my window. You think, what the heck would you want to do that for? Well, I really don't. The only thing I can really think of what I would do is you want to give your user maybe a hint. Let's say this page was a quizzer page and you wanted to allow your user maybe to get a hint if they can't, or maybe even the answer. It might be a way to cheat if they're practicing for certain subject. You might say, peek at answer, and then you can click this and you could put the answer in here, or you can put a hint to the answer in here, and then they can think about it and then maybe type something in a text box or whatever, and then here you would close your little hint or whatever message really that you just want for whatever reason to pop up, or whatever. This is completely up to you. I don't know what all you can put in this window. I suppose you can if you can use P tags. Maybe you can use image tags too. Maybe you can put a little image in here. Maybe you can put a little, maybe you can put anything in here that you put in a web page. This is all I've done with this so far, so I would have to experiment with it and see what else I could make pop up. But it's probably anything you could put in a web page, I would guess. All right, now I wanted to see what this first parameter was. It's an empty parameter, and I don't know what it does. So I'm just going to put a bunch of random words in there and save it and run it and see if it does anything different with the open window. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see it like as a title. I don't see it in here anywhere. So I would have to look that up, why that is an empty parameter. What's the purpose of that? All right. So I've just went over 3 different ways that you can make a function for an on-click event for some buttons. And there's a whole lot of other things that can be done with on-click events, but these are just 3 examples of how to get started. And again, all of these are for potential other button on-click events that I might learn online. End of the body, end of the HTML, and end of this video.